Am I the asshole for not serving my wife breakfast, lunch, and dinner when she demands it? About 6 months ago, my wife and I decided to split household duties, totally her idea. I had been cooking a lot and she basically said she hated cooking and figuring out food, and if I kept doing it, she would be happy to take on the majority of housework cleaning. We tried it and thought it went well, so we kept doing it. Easy enough. On to the issue. I've started cooking in bulk. On Saturday and Sunday I make one giant meal each day in our Instant Pot and portion out the remainder of the food into serving-sized Tupperware, basically meal prep. I've also stocked the fridge each week with lots of jellies, meats, and cheeses, and the pantry with lots of snacks and bread for quick sandwiches. Now, during the day, she'll randomly come into my office and tell me, I'm hungry, and want me to make her food. I tell her all of the sandwich options and all of the leftovers that would take her 2 minutes to heat up, and she'll just roll her eyes and leave, which I think is rude. We got into an argument yesterday where she told me I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. She wants breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks served to her throughout the day. I told her that if I'm making myself lunch or dinner, I will make some for her, but I'm not going to drop everything to stand at a microwave for 2 minutes when she's capable of doing that herself. I don't tell her when I think something needs to be cleaned, you know. Anyway, she thinks I'm being a jerk and I think she's acting childish. AITA. Edit. Okay, a lot of people think I'm the asshole here, which, after defending myself and still getting told I'm the asshole, I'm willing to accept. New question, will I be the asshole if I tell her I want to go back to how things were, where we both clean and both cook? Thank you. Edit 2. I'm definitely an asshole. Thank you all, really. I plan to change starting right now. I got my ass handed to me and I deserve it. I've been acting shamefully. Final edit. I've noticed an uptick in not the asshole comments and I don't want anyone to get downvoted because they didn't see my comments. We also have a newborn that she's been doing 95% of the care for, as well as breastfeeding. I should have mentioned that in the original post. Hold the phone. You cook in batches for a few hours a week. Take care of the dogs. Work. She does all other cleaning. Provides all childcare for a newborn. Works. You are the asshole, buddy. Edit. Upon further consideration, you are the asshole X2. Once for this situation and again for the people who answered early on who are getting downvoted for trusting your original info. You seem to have cut down meal prep, cooking to a few hours a week. How many hours is she spending cleaning? NTA her getting snacky is not a household chore. You've already cooked and prepared easy to reheat food and stocked the fridge. If she's hungry outside of mealtimes, that's on her to make a snack. Edit. Changing my ruling to you are the asshole. Op conveniently left out a lot of important info in their post, like how his wife is actually a new mom who's been landed with all the childcare, all house maintenance, plus a full-time job, while Op spends maybe 4 hours on the weekends cooking exactly 2 meals for the entire week. Disgusting. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. 6 months ago, your pregnant wife offered to take on most housework and cleaning, on top of new baby care as of a few months ago, if you would save her the hassle of cooking and figuring out food. Now you're calling her childish because she wants you to cook, figure out her food. If she interrupts work, it's fair to set some limits like a set lunchtime, or snacks left out in the morning. But you being put out by your wife asking for one small, quick thing as she tends to the rest is thoroughly assholic. Edit extra, seeing that you've also stated that she's working too. You are the asshole. You did really well in this post at totally avoiding discussing what you're doing wrong. She just had a baby, she's doing all the childcare and most of the housework. You make 2 meals a week and just have to eat that all week. Those aren't equivalent amounts of work. Op, in regards to your edit, will you actually be helpful and clean when you go back to the old way of doing things, or will you figure out other ways to dodge any semblance of responsibility or accountability? You are the asshole. You casually leave out of your post that your wife had a baby recently, does all the childcare, does all the cleaning as well as working herself. This now makes you a massive You've managed to cheat her, she sees you doing the bare minimum but yet you feel you've done enough. Why can't you at least make her a fresh dinner and then clean up after yourself? That shouldn't be too difficult. Why can't you take the baby and put them to bed instead of her, or bathe them instead? You have a brain, it's not hard to figure out. She didn't already know that when she had the baby, she learned it while looking after the baby. You made that baby with her, do your share. Grow up, man, she doesn't need another child to look after and tell what to do. You should be in the kitchen 3 times a day and bringing her snacks, because that's the deal. Microwave dinners from a crock pot once a week is not cooking all the meals. If you don't know how to help with the baby, start by acting intuitively. If you were 3 months old and crying, what would you want? 3-month-olds need sleep, food, or their diaper changed with love and play in between all. It's not rocket science. Step up, you dad game and husband game. This is sad. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. Below this is my original comment, but failing to mention anywhere that not only is your wife doing all the housework, she is also looking after a newborn baby makes you a huge asshole. NTA. You are upholding your end of the bargain by cooking the food. She can figure out how to put it in a bowl and heat it up. However, if you have only started cooking in bulk since this arrangement went into place, I can see why your wife might feel a little short-changed. If you've gone from cooking 7 days a week to just 3 or 4, your workload has decreased, whereas she took on extra chores. It might be worth revisiting the conversation about dividing housework if she is doing substantially more than you. I don't understand you. She is your wife and you love her, right? So, help her and communicate with her, and don't treat your marriage like an Excel sheet with columns. You are an adult man, and things in life change, and we must adapt if we care enough. You are both new parents. Your wife is a new mother, you have to be also a new father and be active in your new role. Be a team with your wife. Open your mind, and if something doesn't work, for example the deal you made 6 months ago, you can both find something new that works and make both of you happy. I am telling you all that with love. It's not easy, but if you care and love her, so you will find new ways to support her, and she you. You are the asshole. Based on your comments, you only cook on the weekends and the leftover is for the rest of the week. While your wife does the chores and takes care of your baby. You broke the deal, even if only in spirit. If I were your wife, I wouldn't live with you anymore, because you clearly do not value her. You are the asshole. Your post is super misleading because you frame it like you are doing more than you are. Your wife is basically performing 95% of the duties required to maintain your household, while you take care of 5% of it, squeaking by with the bare minimum. Your wife had a baby. And she is still working. And she is still cleaning your home to fulfill her part of your agreement. But with a baby, and all baby care activities, on top of that. Breastfeeding burns a huge amount of calories, and it takes a lot of time. And you are getting put out because she wants you to save time for her by heating it up or making her something different every so often? You are the asshole and you know it. Edit. You are the asshole. It seems you left out a lot of information, and I'm guessing it was intentional because you're looking for a pat on the back. It takes a real asshole to lie and change information so that you're seen in a better light. I'm hoping her second husband is a great guy. From your description it sounds like you're really only cooking 2 large meals a week, while your wife does everything else. That's nuts. You're not really keeping up your end of the bargain if you aren't cooking fresh food at least once a day. You are the asshole. Info. Do you clean small stuff, EXM? That thing where cold drinks make water around it? Huge. You are the asshole. Quit waiting for her to tell you what to do. You're a fucking adult, you know what needs to be done in the house. Quit acting like a victim. New question, will I be the asshole if I tell her I want to go back to how things were, where we both clean and both cook? Only if splitting childcare is also on the table. What's fair is doing 50-50 of the total work in the house. Taking care of your child is a part of that work. If childcare is also split, then you would not be the asshole. If childcare is still excluded, then you are the asshole still. You are the asshole. As someone who is pretty meh in leftovers, I'd be super pissed about you making 2 meals for the week. Sounds boring as hell. Also, you are the asshole for not supporting your wife more during the first months of being a dad, and yes, you are the asshole if you go back to how it was. You need to sit down with your wife and talk about what would be a fair division, what support she needs, etc. Find out what's hardest, most annoying, tiring for her and take that on. It may still be meal prep, but more interesting now. And no, don't expect something in return. Try and find some decency and empathy and do something kind for the woman who just grew your child for 9 months and is now that baby's sole source of food. Hey asshole, update your original post with all the relevant info, like, your wife had a baby 3 months ago and does all the childcare, and is breastfeeding, your wife works full-time, you only bulk cook 2 meals a week and expect her to make herself sandwiches and heat up leftovers all other meals and call that doing all the cooking. Yes, you are the asshole if you go back to the original split, because this is the one chore she asked you to take responsibility for and you couldn't do it well, so you don't get to go to 50-50 when it's been 90-10 in your favor for the last 6 months. Info, is she working during any of these meal times? You are the asshole. She's working, cleaning, doing the laundry and looking after a new baby. You seemed reasonable until the baby info. She's breastfeeding, which also takes a physical toll. You need to factor in the extra calories, balanced diet and the fact that she needs to eat and drink more regularly to keep herself healthy. This woman is feeding your baby everything they need and you think you're holding up your end of the deal by batch cooking 2 meals a week and telling her to make everything else yourself? Maybe rethink your position and see how you could be more supportive instead of calling her lazy. You are the asshole. And on to your second edit. YWBTA. You have a newborn. Dude. Just cook something for your damn wife. Taking 20 minutes to scramble some eggs and cook some bacon in the morning is nothing compared to caring for an infant. Throw together a pasta salad in the afternoon. Put some fish and veg in the oven for dinner. Sheesh. You seriously think leftovers and sandwiches constitutes cooking? And you're not even putting effort in. Instapot means toss it in and turn it on. And your edit. You can't say go back to both of you contributing. You don't contribute. You don't clean. You don't care for the baby. You do the bare minimum of cooking. But you walk the dog, so everything is fine. You are the asshole. I hardly know what to say. You've tried to loophole your way out of the deal of being responsible for meals, and now you sulk. Why not make a bathtub of chili and it'll last you guys a month? So clever. While you've left her alone with a newborn, work till 9 p.m. and 1 lousy hour, free time, for a shower or nap. I guess you subconsciously are aiming for a divorce. We're not even at the end of January and I still think you might be a runner for the yearly nomination of this sub's worst asshole. Get a grip, dude. Are you both working from home? You are the asshole. Based on other discussions on this thread, it seems like you've decided you only need to cook twice, and anything else about the food is not your business. You are indeed gaming the system if you think this balances doing all the housework. Or indeed that looking after your dog balances looking after your child. You are the asshole, and a lazy one at that. I would be pissed if my diet consisted of the same 2 meals and sandwiches for a week. Talk about boring. I would also be pissed if a baby was expelled from my body and my lazy husband can't even bring me some food while I breastfeed. I truly hope she leaves you because you are worthless too. You seem bound and determined to be the lazy, self-centered and pedantic. Go back to the way things were. I imagine that's even less work than now. I imagine you want her to do most all. Find a loophole where you do something, and call it good. I see divorce in your future. You are the asshole. Damn, if I was her wife I would divorce you and just be a single mum, cause that's what basically she is. And if you told me to go make a sandwich, let's just say there'd be a news story about a sandwich Claire shared worldwide. Info, do you love your wife and child? You are the asshole and a lazy one. I wouldn't want leftovers and sandwiches all week either, and I'm not working, nursing, and covering all the cleaning in my house. Your lack of concern for your wife is disturbing. I was gonna say no until reading some comments to find out she had a freaking baby. I love how you left that vital info out of the actual post. And your edit is just icing on the asshole cake. You are the asshole, dude. Responding to your new questions after you got your ass handed to you in the comments. Yes, YWB the asshole, because I think you would still try to throw something in the Instant Pot instead of actually cooking and maybe pick up one additional task and say you cleaned. You still wouldn't contribute to childcare and you still haven't learned your lesson. Pull your fucking weight. Even with the edit, given that she is doing all the childcare, you are the asshole if you try to go back to the way things were, because you'll just be putting even more on your wife's plate. Man up and help raise your own kid. Men who don't do any childcare are just sad. You are the asshole. In response to your edit and your new question, that's fine only if you actually do 50% of the work including childcare without her having to manage your contributions. It's fine to say a situation is not working out, but let's be real. Even if you still did all of the cooking and actually started cooking for your family every day, you're still getting off easy as far as the workload goes. So do not approach the conversation as if things are unfairly balanced against you in their current iteration. Oh yeah, you are the asshole. Good luck with the divorce. She's probably only gonna put up with that shit for a few years. You are the asshole. Dunno how she's with you. You are the asshole. Won't need to cook for her after she leaves you. Woman shrugging. Edited. Comment removed due to additional information being presented. You are the asshole. Lol, I scrolled past this post at first thinking there was no way Op could be the asshole, but something told me to come back and check, just in case. Unbelievable. You are a shitty father and husband. Op, do better. You're one of those guys who takes things way too literally and thinks making a meal just means making whatever the fuck and passing it off as a meal. Are you really saying you expect your partner to eat the exact same thing every day for a week and you won't make them anything else? Buy Good Housekeeping. Get an app for recipes. Try harder, dude. You are the asshole. How can you not see all of the things she does for you and your child? How can you belittle her so much to desperately scrape for online approval, to do as little as possible, to care for your wife as absolutely minimally as possible? How can you act like it's such a crime that you feel cheated for having to do even small tasks that you agreed to do in exchange for her giving you fathoms more than you care to even consider giving her? That edit. Would I be an asshole if I asked her to go back to me doing no work at all, because me putting in any effort in to help my overworked and underappreciated wife is just too much? You are the asshole. The fact that you left the newborn out of the original post shows me two things. That you are a huge asshole who specifically leaves out details to look good to internet strangers. That the baby isn't your number one priority and taking up a majority of your life at the moment. This second point makes my respect for you plummet through the floor. Okay, Opso, with a newborn in the house, your contribution to the household duties are the preparation of 2 meals. Your wife does everything else? Do you realize that you are teaching her that once she recovers from childbirth, has her work, house, childcare routine down, she will not need you? Your contribution could be replaced by 2 clicks on Uber Eats. You are a pathetic excuse for a partner, and your wife's workload would be reduced if you were no longer around. Wow. Even without reading your comments, you are the asshole. And now that I've seen your comments? Holy shit, you are the asshole. What an asshole way to make sure you're doing the last amount possible. If my husband had pulled that shit, I would have divorced him. You are the asshole. Wow, you are not even holding up your end of the bargain. You basically cook 2 meals a week when you should be making 14 meals, 21 meals if you include breakfast. Tell us, does your wife only clean half the house or only does half the laundry? You would be complaining too if she was only doing half the work you had both agreed to. You seriously don't see anything wrong in what you are doing? Also, besides being you are the asshole, you could be negatively affecting your child, unintentionally. Here is an article about why you should be providing a diverse menu for your breastfeeding wife. Get off your ass, make a few meals a week for your wonderful wife. When I became a first-time mom, I found breastfeeding extremely difficult. I would honestly forget to eat between feeding and pumping. If my husband didn't bring me food, I didn't eat for about 2 weeks. You are the asshole. A sandwich is nothing when breastfeeding.